Howdy everyone, welcome back to the channel. I apologize in advance if you can't hear me too well. My voice is pretty scratchy because we're all just getting over a really bad case of the flu. It's put us out of commission for about a week now, but we've got a project for you today. We're actually going to be building a chicken tractor. I showed you in one of our previous videos our baby chicks, and they are about 3 to 4 weeks old now, so we've got to get them outside ASAP. They're getting really big and they're getting really smelly, which is a problem since they're in our garage. So what we're going to be building is a version of the Suscovich chicken tractor. He raises meat birds professionally, all in chicken tractors, and he's got some really great plans online, which I will link below. You can check those out. I modified it just a little bit given the current cost of lumber and other building materials. So we're trying to be a little bit more efficient with our materials and what we bought here, but we're going to get started on that, so stick around. All right, first up, we got some 8-foot 2x4s here. We're going to cut these first two into 2-foot sections, both of them, so 8 pieces altogether. All right, numbers 3 and 4 here, we're going to cut them at 5'7". All right, and then number 5 here, we're going to also cut it at 5'7", and then one section at 1 foot 8 3/8. One of those other boards I marked, I just realized I also need another piece that's 1 foot 8 3/8, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that. And that's it for our 8-foot 2x4s here. That's 5 in total. So we're going to move on here to our 10-foot 2x4s. They actually are going to remain whole, so we don't need to cut those at all. And then for our 12-foot 2x4s here, it says to cut those down to 11 foot 4 inches. But these are just the bottom rails that run along the ground, so I'm just going to leave them whole. I'm not looking to put it on a trailer or anything at the moment, so we're just going to leave all 4 of these boards whole and move on to our 1x4s right now. Now that I've got all of our material here marked, I'm going to go ahead and try and get a couple of these cut. We've got some rain coming. It's starting to get pretty overcast, and you can probably hear the wind in the background blowing these leaves around, but I'm going to try and get what I can cut before it starts raining, and if I have to, I'll pick this back up tomorrow, and you can see the finished result. So let's get to it. So there's all of our cut lumber, along with our 10-foot and 12-foot 2x4s. And that's all that there is for scrap. So I'd say that was pretty efficient. So it's starting to rain. I will catch you guys tomorrow when we finish this. First thing I want to do today is we're going to cut the ends of these 2x4s for some lap joints. It makes for a lot stronger of a structure, and just makes the whole thing go together a little bit easier, lining everything up. So before I do, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you haven't yet already, so you can see all the videos we've got coming in the near future. All right guys, you can see here I've got my skill saw set to cut it 3/4 of an inch deep, so that'll be halfway through our 2x4s here. That way it makes a nice little lap joint right there. And here we go. Alright, you can see there I just made a bunch of cuts through the board. And we're going to knock that out with a chisel and a hammer. Just like so. Alright guys, you can see here I got my wonderfully professional lap joints all cut in the end of the short 2x4s. And then I laid out some notches here we're going to cut in our 10-foot 2x4s. Now that we got our last lap joint cut, this was the last one here. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of pre-assembly, which will help whenever we take everything out in the yard and try to put it all together. So first thing here, I'm going to throw down a little bit of wood glue, which will just help give this a little bit of extra reinforcement, and it certainly can't hurt. There we go. Now we're going to take one of our 2-foot 2x4s here with a lap joint on that, and that dude's going to go right on top there. I'm going to go ahead and sink it with one screw here just to hold it in place while we get everything else lined up later. Now those are 1.25" deck screws, Torx head. They are painted so they will not rust like your typical wood screw would, and hopefully they'll last several years at least, and we'll get some good use out of this tractor. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of our pre-assembly, and then we'll take it all out to the yard and start slapping it together. Alright, we got the last of our lumber cut here. I got all of the lap joints set up ahead of time, and I had to bring along a little bit of help here, but we're going to get this assembled, the bottom frame portion here first, and then we'll start working on the hoops and the door. So let's get going.
Oh, he's calling little. We are here on day 3 of the build. Husband has completely lost his voice, so you have to deal with me. Get used to it. And all we're doing is going to be adding the boards to make the door, the frame to the door. And then we're going to try and add the PCC pipes across as well. That is my goal. Okay.
I need you to hold. Hold it right about there. Okay, hold it right here. Nice. Not too bad.
One hoop down.
Had it?
Yep.
Oh, it's pretty much spot on.
That's because you're that good.
Wish. All right, I'll put the rest of the screws in. And I'll do some pieces for the top.
Man, look at that right there.
We have 18 chicks.
18, we gained one.
Huh?
We gained one.
Huh?
We gained one. We only had 17. Now we have 18?
Yes.
Oh. Good thing we got you counting.
Hi, Mama.
Hi, Conrad. You having fun?
Yeah.
You gonna hang upside down?
No.
No.
Ow.
Whoa! Whoa! Well, that's one way to make snow. Whew. Oh, it dripped, almost dripped on your hair.
Whoa. Drip on you?
We've got drippage.
On my glove. Ta-da! 9, 10, 11, 17.
All
Good
right.
job, guys.
Next step is that we are going to be putting some fencing along the bottom here, where the cat is where we're going to start. So we're just gonna go around and use a standard staple gun and just staple the fencing to it.
Thought I would need you to hold it, but not really.
You don't need no woman.
I will need you to get the hammer and come behind me and tap all these down.
Okay.
Try and get it tight. Give it a little bit of a stretch. Chicken wire really sucks. I hate chicken wire.
Goat wire is better. We are at it again. Right now what we're going to be doing is adding some of the chicken wire over the top of it. And we already did one that's over here. And now we're just going to work on this side and then do the middle.
This corner.
Gideon, take this to Dada.
I can sort of do that. I'm gonna have two hands.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hold on. Yeah, we can. We gotta wait for the water. Alright, guys, big tree anyway.
There we go. It's not supposed to cover the whole thing.
Oh.
But it looks like it's going to. Pull it your way. Okay, right there. Yep, we're going to zip tie the eyelets to the pipe all the way down.
Wood bridge.
I said this.
It's okay. Bottom patch, good.
Yeah, I know. She likes it. She's like, we should do this. Ran into the water.
There you go.
Ow.
Now pull.
How did you do that? I
Magic.
like that. No.
You gotta pull really hard and it'll pop out.
Okay. Well, some of these zip ties are breaking. That one seems okay. Okay. All right, guys, another thing we're gonna add is some of these metal gussets right here. We're just gonna put those in the corners like that to give it a little more strength whenever we're moving it around. That way it doesn't flex and pull these screws out or anything. So we'll get these attached. Alright, next up we're going to install some of these wheels here. These are just plastic lawnmower wheels, and they're going to go on the back side here. So whenever we move the chicken tractor around, these will roll and make it a little bit easier to move. Let's get to it. All right, last but not least, we're going to drill some holes here in the front and run this braided poly cord through it for a handle to pull it around. So let's get that done real quick. Just like that, simple knot. All right, we're just gonna melt the ends of this rope here so it doesn't fray any farther. Wind. All right. And there we have it. We've got a nice little handle that we can pick up our chicken tractor and move it around the yard. Just like so. All right, so that's it for the construction on our chicken tractor here. We're gonna go ahead and fill it up with chickens. And that's it, everyone. We've got a fully functional chicken tractor here. We're gonna let these meat birds grow out for about another 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the variety here. And then we'll be doing some butchering, so we'll have some fresh chicken in the freezer that we raised ourselves. So I'd call this a success. Be sure to stick around and see the next video here on the homestead. Thanks.
Uh-oh.
What?
Less dominant rooster skin the chicken.
He gets some action every
He gets his cluck on, you know what I'm saying?